Today I want to talk to you about my idea of the perfect portfolio. I don't know if it's perfect, but what I am recommending for a portfolio right now. We've got Ethereum 50%, Stellar, XLM 20, Bitcoin 15, and then others that you're taking a chance on 15%. Let me go through why I'm picking this. First of all, for me, I have a couple big themes. One is, will this company be a leader in 5 years? Will it be around? Will it be bigger in 5 years? That's a big question for me, because the opposite of that is there a chance this can go to zero within 5 years? And for a lot of investments out there, yeah, it could go to the moon lambos, baby, but it could also fail, go to nothing. And I've been around long enough to know that, like, when times are good, it's great, and it feels like the money will be there and grow forever, and then all of a sudden, it's gone. I don't want that. It's a long-term game. My main objective is to not get kicked out of the game. I would rather pick a solid company, or solid crypto that grows a little, hangs in there, than take a chance on one that can go to the moon and goes to zero. So, you know, I'm a little conservative, all right? For this space, I'm conservative. For most of the world, all of this is not conservative. Okay, so first of all, Ethereum. Why Ethereum 50%? Well, as I've said in many other videos, it always feels like all roads lead to Ethereum. Whatever statistic I'm looking at, whether it's founders or transactions or uses, Ethereum has the best statistics to back it up. And I love platforms, but Ethereum is not just, great in and of itself. I like that it's a platform companies are building on top of it. I feel that platforms and I have seen in history, platforms are generally more valuable than individual businesses. So I love the Ethereum platform. I feel it's safe. Now, its price has been bouncing around here at $300 for a long time. I mean, if you have a big range, you could really say 300 has been the sort of the average price for many months. And I don't know, maybe it will stay here for a long time and won't move. Remember, Bitcoin didn't move for a few years after Mt. Gox. And if you waited, you were rewarded. And I believe with Ethereum, eventually I will be rewarded. Again, do I think it's going to definitely grow bigger than all other cryptos? No. But I'm the most confident that it will grow and not go to zero. Okay, number 2, I've got my Stellar Lumens XLM at 20%. Again, will it be here in 5 years? It's an open source protocol, open source software that is being adopted by IBM, who's also working with this Hyperledger, which is the sort of the Linux open software on the board, or somewhere within Stellar. Important is somebody from Apache. Sorry, I don't have that on the top of my head, which is another big open source software. It looks like Stellar's open source protocol is being integrated throughout businesses and banks by leading software companies. So is it going to be here in 5 years? Yes. Is it, and going to be used a lot? Now, is the XLM currency, how much is that going to be worth? Hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say for any of these, but with a market cap of only 500 million, I see a lot of other crypto options out there that look a lot more risky, a lot more, I don't know, and with a market cap much higher than Stellar Lumens. So to me, it will be here. It is growing. And the price makes me feel pretty confident here to put in. That's 20% of my holdings. Then Bitcoin, 15%. Now, if you watch the price action lately, tells me I would have been better off if that percentage was a lot higher. In fact, I originally got in I don't know, 2014, after the Mt. Gox thing, around $300 buying Bitcoin. If I had just held that, downloaded it to a nano ledger, and didn't touch it, and have done zero trading, I would now have probably twice as much crypto money as I have now. That's probably true for most of you. I don't know. Well, maybe not. I shouldn't say that because some people got it. If you got in early on some of these altcoins, that was even better. But nevertheless, so Bitcoin, though, for me, the reason I'm sticking with this 15% is, to me, Bitcoin is a couple things. Number one is it's digital gold. It's the gold. You know, you can complain about Bitcoin's technology. It's slow. It doesn't look like it's getting faster. It's not going to be for payments anytime soon, if ever. You know, the technology is slow and this and that, but it's solid. It's not going away. So it's sort of given itself the gold standard. And for new money coming in, people who don't know what's going on, and even us people in barely know what's going on, but if you're just coming into the market, and I remember this is how I felt when I first got in. It's like Bitcoin. When I first saw all these other altcoins, I'm like, what are these people, what is going on? Just own Bitcoin. You're ridiculous. That's sort of the first feeling you have. So a lot of new money is coming in. Wall Street money is coming in, and the front door is Bitcoin. And when the crowd is trying to fit through that one door, the Bitcoin price is shooting up. Now, what seems to happen to everybody as well, once you get through the Bitcoin front door, Bitcoin's the gateway drug, then you want to get all these other coins. So we sort of see this flow after the fact. And right now, it looks to me like the Bitcoin front door is crowded. If it's a crypto party, you know, there's a big line out at the front door right now to get in. But once they get in, you kind of want to try all these other coins. But right now, you know, so that's why I think Bitcoin keeps going up. So you want to own it. You want to hold it, just download it to your Nano Ledger, the one I have, just hold them there, and then every time there's a split, you get the coins, and just, it's the move with Bitcoin has been to do nothing and just hold it. And I don't know that that's changing. It seems to be hard to do for most of us. And my other reason why only 15% is, again, you know, if you take an example from the stock market, you know, gold as a commodity over several decades, you know, has done great. But you would have done better with Google, with Amazon, I don't know, with Boeing, you know, with companies that build something, or platforms. You can make a lot more money than you would have made with gold. And I bet in the long run, that is the same case in the crypto space. If you pick a lead, you know, if Ethereum becomes a leading platform with many businesses on it, I bet it's more valuable than Bitcoin in the long run. That's why I'm staying away from putting all my money in Bitcoin, but at the same time, I wish I had left all my money in Bitcoin. So there you go. And I haven't been the most right on Bitcoin. So if you think you should have more Bitcoin than I'm saying, you know, go right ahead. But if you think you should have less, I would be careful. Okay, so that's 85%. With the remaining 15%, and you may have different ones. These are the ones I'm think is worth to take a little bet. Make a little bet and watch, because the small startups, you know, yes, people always say, you know, it's smaller, so it can go much higher. It's also smaller, so it could go to zero. Remember that most businesses fail within 2 years. And the ones that succeed, most businesses that succeed sort of plug along, have their little niche, and they make some money and remain small, you know. So for those of you who read a white paper and think, you know, oh, this is going to be the next whatever, maybe, but odds are against it. So to me, and for a lot of these, we are so early, you can just put a little money in there to sort of help you keep your eye on it, especially if it's like a payout thing. So for example, Pay token, 10x. So they're going to pay a dividend of some kind at some point. Well, so if nothing else, I own a little bit, and when they pay their dividend, I will see at that moment what percentage the dividend is of the price of the token, and I'll be able to see, you know, there'll be more information by that point of what their growth rate. They've just passed 100,000 card users. Maybe, you know, 6 months from now, they pay a dividend is this much, and now they have this many users. I can see the growth rate. I can see how much the dividend is, and then make a decision to make a bigger bet because I like where it's going, or realize, oh, geez, they didn't pay much and they're not growing that much, and I only put in a little, maybe I'll leave it, or maybe forget this thing, it doesn't look good. Because that could, 10x is one, will it be here in 5 years? I don't know. I mean, it's just a card. You know how many credit card issuing companies there are? And, they're just doing an exchange on your tokens. They're doing great. I like them. But at the same time, it's not rocket science. Julian, I love him, but he's a kite surfer. So, listen, it could go to zero. Could be nothing. My other one with a little bet, I found this casino. CSNO is their token. BitDice, whatever. It looks cool. It's a legal casino. They're going to pay 75% of casino profits to the token. Looks cool. I don't know. So I have a little, and eventually they're going to pay this dividend in Ether. And I'm going to see, well, how much did they pay? And then maybe I get another one. Did it go up? How much? What are the profits based on the price? Then I'm going to have real information. And then, so again, I'm going to be able to see growth rate. I'm going to be able to see the payout and then make a decision to buy more. Or maybe, the payout doesn't come. They're planning on moving they were working with IOTA, who, I wonder if that's going to work. But they're also working with Ethereum. Who knows? You see, one of these things where the developers can't seem to launch. It doesn't work. There's other casino companies that do better. And again, will CSNO be here and a leader in 10 years, 5 years? I don't know. That thing could go to nothing, or more likely just be some very boring company that isn't worth much. My other two bets here that I'm playing with, Dash. I love the Dash in theory. The funding for the treasury, the marketing, the system that they've set up looks awesome, but they want to be, a payment for consumers, a payment coin that consumers and merchants use. And they're only doing 6,000 transactions a day. So, this thing needs to, and 6,000 transactions, that also includes, I believe, the trading of Dash itself, not actually people buying stuff. So we're going to need to see exponential growth. When they launched, they did their latest software upgrade in February. The transactions per day from the chart I look at went from 1,000 to 6,000. Well, that's awesome, but Bitcoin's 350,000, Ethereum's 500,000. So they are far behind. They're going to need to 10x, a few times to catch up and to be for real. Now, maybe they will. But again, I have a little bit, and I'm going to see the next time they do a software upgrade. Maybe I'll download their wallet they're coming out with, take a look at it, and do the transactions shoot up again when they have a software release? Or maybe the software release, it looks like it's already looking a little late. Maybe it's dragging out, it's taking a long time. And if they fall far behind and someone else comes out with a payment processing thing like OMG, who I have here, my other sort of long shot. Will Dash be here in 5 years? They're probably going to be here, but it could be sort of a nothing boring company now doing, a few transactions, 10,000 transactions and software, they have problems. Just because they have a huge budget and a big team that they can pay to develop software doesn't mean they're going to be good at it. It's hard. And if they have the wrong, So, again, that's why, in general, I'm 15% for all these little, and you may have other ideas, your moonshot ideas. Just throw a little bit of money because you're early enough and follow the progress. And if every time something happens that looks good, I did that with Stellar. I thought that was what, looks cool, and then IBM, so I go in more, and maybe something else. Maybe I get more again, or maybe just now I have enough and I can ride that wave. But anyways, the other one, so OMG is another one. Love the story, looks cool, real processing company. They really have a deal with McDonald's, but guess what? Nothing's launched on McDonald's. They haven't launched anything sort of blockchain payment related. So I don't know, and there's not a lot of info. When are they launching? Next week? next year. Maybe it launches, it doesn't work. I have someone I work with, he lives in Thailand. If I hear, or I'll have him check occasionally, go to the McDonald's website. All OMG is starting with, from what I understand, is so you can order online with Ether for McDonald's in Thailand. And Thailand's a very small country, so that in and of itself isn't that exciting, but it's a test. And if that goes well, then they could spread to other markets. But they haven't even launched a McDonald's yet. Maybe that doesn't happen for a year or longer. Or maybe they launch it and it's buggy. Or maybe they launch it and no one's using it. And so therefore they decide not to expand it to other places. So again, OMG. So I own a little. I keep my eye on it. And maybe we get some good news. But to me, it's a very big difference in, the downside potential in an OMG versus the downside potential in an Ethereum. And that is why I have most of my money in Ethereum. And, so remember, don't always just think of what's the upside. Remember, what is the downside? Believe me, nothing worse. It's one thing to miss a ride up and have some FOMO. Shit, like my Bitcoin. If I held it all, I would have more money. But that, I'd rather sort of miss out, and I still have money, and I'm still in the game, than me have put all of my money into some, as people call them, in some shit coin that goes to zero, and now I got my tail between my legs, and I'm out of business. Stay safe. It's a long game. Good luck. Let me know your thoughts.